4:42 p.m. Eastern Time. Welcome. Thanks for taking the time to join me, everyone. Welcome. Awesome, guys. Hope you're having an amazing day. Today is, what day is it today? Today is Thursday. Crazy day. Took the kids to the airport because we love plane spotting, and I've never experienced so much traffic in my life. I don't know what was going on in Toronto, but like every single road was bumper to bumper. But anyways, that's not here nor there. We're not talking about traffic. We're not talking about plans. We're talking about getting your fitness and nutrition questions answered tonight in this Ask Yuri live session. If you don't know who I am, my name is Yuri Al-Kaim. I'm a New York Times bestselling author, holistic nutritionist, fitness and fat loss expert, former pro soccer player who ended up losing all of his hair when he was 17 years old to an autoimmune condition, and then realized that healthy eating is really the true magic bullet to getting over a lot of your health issues, and obviously smarter exercise. So I'm here to simplify the complicated world of health so that you can get a better handle on what to do in your own life. So with that said, let's jump into it. I know I just missed a number of questions, so I apologize. If you can repost those, that would be awesome. And let's jump into this. Okay, at what point should you stop running? You should stop running before you even start. Let me put it that way. Okay, so let me deal with this question, and then I'll ask you guys to post some more questions just because I don't want to miss anything. So are you asking specifically about during a run when you should stop, or when you should stop in terms of frequency of running throughout the week? Now, let me just answer both questions without knowing what you would respond to that. So first and foremost, if you are running and you're wondering when you should stop, well, here's the thing. You want to challenge yourself. Okay, so I'm not a huge fan of long distance running. Again, I played pro soccer. I can't stand running. It's terrible for the body. It's terrible for most of your hormones. It will ruin your immune system if you do high volume. So if you're going to run, intensity is the key. So interval training, fast, slow. You only need to do 10 to 20 minutes, 2, maybe 3 times a week. That's it. Now, if you're running beyond that, if you want to train for 5, 10K, half marathon events, that's up to you. When should you stop running? Well, first and foremost, if you start experiencing pain, that's a good indication that you should stop. Second is understanding the difference between getting out of your comfort zone and pain. It's not the same thing. If you're experiencing muscle pain, like you're about to tear your hamstring, or you feel a twitch in your ankle, those are symptoms or signs that you should probably kind of shut her down. If, however, you are thinking about stopping because you're uncomfortable, that's a different story. You want to challenge yourself. You need to get out of your comfort zone. You need to get to a level where your heart rate is pumping. And I'm not a huge fan of using heart rate monitors because I believe if you can get as close to your maximum heart rate as possible, that's the best. And the best way to know that is, are you huffing and puffing? Are you out of breath? Is your rating of perceived exertion of this activity an 8, 9, or 10? If it is, you can only spend so much time there. And that's great because you don't need to be spending an hour running. You can get amazing benefits in 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes at the most. So I hope that answers your question. And for all of you runners or prospective runners out there, I don't think that running is the best form of exercise. I do it. I love running hills, but I will warm up as a nice light jog to the hill, and then I'll hit it. Okay, favorite hot drink. It really depends on my mood, what I'm feeling. I do enjoy a nice decaf latte. I'll usually use, well, I'll be very honest with you, I use soy milk. Yeah, whatever. I talk about soy not being the greatest thing, but the occasional decaf soy latte, it's not going to kill me. I like the indie coffee shops. They use much better coffee beans than Starbucks does. Black coffee, not a huge fan of. You need to find what's going to work for you, okay? So I like that occasionally. Sometimes at night I'll have like mint tea, or I'll do a tea with warm water, apple cider vinegar, lemon, and a little bit of Manuka honey. I'll even throw in some cayenne pepper to spice things up. But it really depends on what I'm feeling that day. So how much sleep on a weekday? So on a weekday or a weekend, the best thing you can do is maintain a regular sleep schedule. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every single day. It's probably the most important and powerful thing you can do for all aspects of your health. And the reason I say all aspects is because whether you want to have more energy, lose weight more effortlessly, reduce cravings, all that stuff, it's all hormonally derived. It's all hormonally dictated. So your hormones are based predominantly on your circadian rhythms, right? So your biological rhythm. And the best way to keep a succinct biological rhythm is to go to bed and wake up at the same time. If you don't, and if you're erratic, like let's just take good old Yuri back in university days, I would go to bed at, I'll give you an example. Wednesday nights in Toronto used to be like a really good club night, and I love good house music. So I would do my homework, and I would finish at around 10, 10:30. Then I would go literally by myself to the club, and I'd watch dance to the latest DJ. I'd get home at 2, 2:30 in the morning. I go to sleep. I wake up the next morning at 8 o'clock. Once a week I do that. The other nights, maybe I'm sleeping at 10:30, 12. It was all over the map. Getting up at 8, 7, 9, sleeping in sometimes. That's terrible, right? The best thing you can do now, and again, a full disclosure, I've kind of lost my morning routine groove. So I haven't been doing this over the past few weeks. As I mentioned in my previous Periscope video, if you want to check that out, check out Email Stressing You Out. Check it out on my YouTube channel, Yelcame1. And so anyways, when I'm in my consistent groove, I'm usually in bed by 10:30. I wake up the next morning at 5, every single day, 7 days a week. So for you, what is that time frame? 7 to 9 hours is what you want, and you want to find it. For you, it might be 7, maybe it's 8.5 hours of sleep that you need. Only you can determine that. So that is what you want to do. Consistency is the most important thing with sleep. When Uriel came, talks, Periscope listens. Awesome. Thanks so much, guys. And again, I appreciate all the hearts. So keep them coming. Just all episode long. Just keep banging that or tapping your phone. Why is olive oil bad to cook with? At what temperature does it turn rancid? So why is it bad to cook with olive oil? So olive oil is a monounsaturated fat. It's more stable than things like safflower or sunflower or canola oil, which are polyunsaturated, which basically means they are very unstable. Okay, they have more than one double bond, if you want to get chemical and scientific. Monounsaturated means it's got one double bond in its chemical chain, which gives it that fluidity. A saturated fat does not have any double bonds, and that's why they're stable, or they are solid at room temperature. Saturated fats are better for cooking, so butter or ghee, clarified butter, or coconut oil, or red palm oil actually is up there as well as the best saturated fats to cook with. They're very stable. They don't become problematic when they're heated. Monounsaturated fats are a little bit less stable, right? And you don't want to cook with them because the danger with fats is because of that double bond in their chemical chain, that is where free radicals start to attack the fat molecule. And when that happens, remember, fats can, if you've taken my Super Nutrition Academy course, you'll know this, is that fats become, they basically become attacked or compromised by heat, oxygen, and light. So if you're taking an oil that's liquid at room temperature and you put it in a frying pan and heat it, or in an oven at 450 degrees, that's a huge amount of heat that is now going to turn that oil into a little bit more problematic. And so if you're going to cook, use those saturated fats that I mentioned. You can finish off the recipe with olive oil at a latter stage of it, just before serving, but try to avoid heating olive oil. It's again, you want to get an extra virgin olive oil, which basically means that it's raw, it's cold pressed. You don't want to ruin those oils by heating them or exposing them to strong lights or a lot of oxygen. That's why it's really important. Once you have the cap off the bottle, pour it out onto your salad, onto your dish, put the cap back on, seal it, put it away in your pantry. Really important. Same thing with like flax oil, fish oil. Get those bad boys in the fridge. Those are polyunsaturated fats, very unstable. Never heat those. Keep them cold in a dark glass bottle. Cool? There was a comment or question right there. I'm so sorry for missing that. Okay, if you could post it again, I will do my best to respond to it this time. I will check out your website after the scope. Well, thank you very much. For all of you Periscopers who are not currently following my work, you can join me at urielcame.com/Periscope. And while you're there, you can maybe save my dogs. Okay, what is the best way to raise good cholesterol? Mine was a little low last blood test I had done. Okay, so this is a little bit tricky. So there's obviously genetic markers, genetic factors with good cholesterol and bad cholesterol. Good cholesterol can actually be raised with intense exercise, which is kind of odd. So that's one thing. And just eating an overall good quality diet is going to be really helpful. So it's tough to say that you can eat these foods or do this specific thing because everyone is going to be a little bit different. But if you follow a regularly clean, whole foods diet, you know, with the occasional treat if you want, that's totally cool. And make the focus of your exercise on the high intensity. So again, sprint jog as opposed to running for 2 hours, or more importantly, lifting heavier weights, lower volume. That is, in the research, tends to show that that's one of the few things that can raise your HDL, which is the good cholesterol. Awesome questions, guys. Keep them coming. And those hearts, we gotta keep those going, guys. We gotta keep those going. So if you're enjoying this information, you remember you can also share this channel on Twitter. So if you want to, I think you can repost this on Twitter, get your friends involved if they've got questions with respect to fitness, nutrition, health. Again, my goal is to simplify the complicated world of health. That's what I'm here to do. Okay, cinnamon, what kinds, how to use from Reversing Your Diabetes YouTube. Okay, so don't worry too much about the type of cinnamon. There's two main types. Not the end of the world if you use either one of them. Most stores, you won't even know which is which anyways. So the benefit of cinnamon is that it helps reduce the impact of sugar in the blood. So it will reduce the blood sugar impact, as my friend JJ Version's recent book talks about. So if you have, let's say, a donut by itself is going to spike your blood sugar. A donut with cinnamon will spike your blood sugar a little bit less. So that's the beauty of it. There's really no spice or herb that is not going to be good for you. So cinnamon is amazing. If you're going to have oatmeal, throw cinnamon into the oatmeal to reduce the blood sugar impact of the oatmeal. Cool? Awesome. So there was, again, I apologize. I don't know why Periscope makes these comments disappear. It's so frustrating. So I apologize. There was a comment or question that was just posted. If you could repost that again. And I think to make this as easy as possible, if you could wait until I'm finished answering the question before answering or asking your question, that'd be awesome, just so that I don't miss it and look like a fool for not seeing it. So, okay, aspartame. I'm working on reducing diet pop. I think it's causing joint pain. Absolutely, you better believe aspartame is. Aspartame is terrible stuff. 75% of all FDA complaints are related to aspartame. Bad news. My wife Amy, when we first started dating, was drinking 6 Diet Cokes a day, and she used to suffer from lightning pains, as she described them. So like lightning pains down her spine. Crazy, right? So aspartame is a neurological toxin. Very bad stuff. How do you get over it? Okay, here's what I'm going to recommend you do. Get some sparkling water, Perrier, San Pellegrino, whatever one you want, apple cider vinegar, and lemon. If you love fizzy bubbly drinks, this is the ultimate delicious how to get off sodas type of drink. So, you know, you have a glass of Perrier or fizzy water, and you put in 1 or 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, squeeze some lemon in, and it's amazing. Amazing. So if you have an addiction to sodas, this is probably the best way to get off of them. It's amazingly helpful for your digestion. And apple cider vinegar, bang for buck, is the best supplement you could be taking. You get a gallon of apple cider vinegar for $20. I mean, it's insane. And the health benefits that it has, like ridiculous. We'll do a whole Periscope session just on apple cider vinegar. And yeah, it's awesome. So that's what I'd recommend. Awesome question. There was a question, I think it was how to eat more raw veggies. Correct me if I'm wrong. Simplest ways, 3 ways. Where do you buy it? Apple cider vinegar at any health food store. They'll have it for sure. 3 ways to eat more raw veggies. Make a green juice. Okay, so if you have a juicer, if you don't, make a smoothie. If you have a blender, most people have a blender, so I'm going to give you a simple recipe. 1 head, or actually I should say head, based on the serving size. So let's for serving for one person, okay? This will give you, actually let's make this for two people. This will give you 1 liter of green smoothie. This will last you for a couple hours. So you take a couple handfuls, 2 handfuls of your favorite greens, kale, Swiss chard, spinach, lettuce, whatever, throw it in a blender, 1 banana, 1 apple, 1 pear, a little bit of cilantro, so half a handful, half a lime, squeeze it into the blender, throw some water in, throw some hemp seeds in for protein, boom, that's gonna give you a liter of green smoothie. It's amazing, and you've just got about 4 to 6 servings of fruits and vegetables right there. Have a salad with every meal. So let's just say with dinner or lunch, right? So 1 salad per day, 1 smoothie or juice, and there you go. You're off to the races. Between those 2 or 3 recommendations, you're already at 6 to 10 servings of fruits and vegetables, and that's irrespective of whatever else you're doing. So that's the easiest way to get more raw vegetables into your diet, which, as you know, if you've read my All Day Energy Diet book, is the key to feeling more energized. How many grams of protein should you have a day? Okay, a great question. We actually have a new report coming out in a week or 2 called Protein Lies, what the food, supplement, and fitness industry does not want you to know. Here's what you've been told. And the reason you've been told this is because most magazines are supplement driven, or you've been told this by bodybuilders or supplement companies themselves who want to sell more protein. Full disclosure, we have a protein powder coming out in a couple weeks, but I'm not going to lie to you and tell you have to be eating 3 to 4 times more protein than you really need. So what you need as a regularly active individual, working out a few times a week, nothing crazy, 0.8 grams to 1 gram per kilogram of body weight. So let's just keep it simple. 1 gram of protein per kilogram body weight. I weigh 73 kilograms. That's 73 grams of protein. That's literally 2 chicken breasts per day. Or that could be, let's just say 1 scoop of protein powder is 20 grams of protein. You have a smoothie in the morning. So this morning I had a smoothie with 1 scoop of our protein powder, 3 tablespoons of hemp seeds, 1 big tablespoon, I should call it 2 tablespoons of organic peanut butter. So just with those ingredients right there, that's probably close to 40 grams of protein. And then it was mixed berries, half a banana, water, almond milk, and flax seeds, ground flax seeds. That smoothie in the morning is 40 grams of protein. So if I need to get 73 grams of protein on average per day, I don't really need to go out of my way to be, really like engulfing steaks and high amounts of protein powder. Protein powder is just another source of protein. That's all it is. And it's very convenient because if you're in a rush or if you're going for a workout and you want if you want a great way to stay anabolic, basically enabling your muscles to build muscle or maintain muscle after you work out, then having some branched chain amino acids or protein without the carbs before your workout is a very, very smart thing to do. And you don't want to be eating steak because that's obviously like a 3-hour digestion process. So that's what I'd recommend. So 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per kilogram of body weight, not per pound. Okay, because if we're talking about per pound, now we're talking 2.2 times more. So that's not what we're after. Awesome question. So there was another question in there. Again, I apologize if I didn't see it. If you could please repost that, that would be awesome. Oh, by the way, while we're just kind of chilling out here, have you guys watched Narcos, the Netflix episode, the Netflix show? It's all about Pablo Escobar and the whole drug cartel in Colombia. It's awesome. Really cool show. If you like that kind of stuff, I will be watching that tonight. It's awesome. So protein by pounds, I can't do the conversion in my head. Honestly, I can't even do 1 + 1 without a calculator. So sorry. How to stop eating at 80% full. Can't seem to do it. This is one of those things where it's going to take a bit of time. You need to be present with your food. You need to slow down, turn off the distractions, and all of that what I just said is the most uncomfortable thing to do, because for most people, being with themselves is frightening. Okay? We're always distracted. We're looking at our phone, we're looking at the TV, we're looking at our computer, we're reading something. Those are all distractions, and they distract us from being present with our food. When you're present with your food and you Again, this is not going to happen every single meal. I'm not going to, pretend that it will. But the more you can slow down and be with your food, the better off you're going to be to understand when you're done. It's like, why am I continuing to eat? Is it just a habit? Am I nervous? Am I anxious? Or am I really good? And the only way to really tap into that is to really be present with your food. So that's a learned ability, and it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. And it also helps when your hormones, like leptin, for instance, are working properly. Leptin tells your brain, hey, I'm full. But if you're carrying a lot of body fat and you've been consuming a lot of fructose, for instance, which is a known disruptor of leptin communication in the brain, then your brain is not going to be receiving the message, I'm full. And therefore your tendency to eat more is going to be greater. So it takes a little bit of time, and this is one of the things that I speak about extensively in my new book, The All-Day Fat Burning Diet, because if you've worked out and eaten well and you're having a tough time losing weight, it's not your fault, right? You're doing everything you think you should be doing, but there are things you don't even know. These are your blind spots. And a lot of the blind spots are internally, hormones, right? Physiological things we can't even understand what's happening inside of our body. So in the new book, I help you kind of reset to your factory settings so that your hormones like leptin and your thyroid hormones and others start to function more normally, so that you can start to lose weight more effortlessly and get a better handle on just controlling the way you eat. Again, as you know, I'm not about deprivation and counting calories. It's really about just honoring your body's natural rhythms and what works best for you. Great questions, guys. This is awesome. Let's keep them going. Got anything else, or should I just start watching Narcos? Immune boosting foods. Any plant-based food will definitely do that. Specifically, we can look at things like garlic. Probably the best, I would say, immune boosting food. And what else? I just forgot the name of it. That's crazy. So again, like all the brassica vegetables, all vegetables are going to be good for you. Garlic, definitely very powerful. What is the damn name? Elderberry. There we go. Elderberry juice extract or elderberry juice concentrate. You can just get it at a health food store. And this has been shown specifically to fend off influenza virus A and B. So take it when you start feeling yourself getting a little bit of something, and then keep that going for a good week or two. It's amazing. Then you've got obviously the supplements like echinacea, vitamin C, oregano oil, but food-wise, garlic is probably the most potent. Ginger is helpful as well, but garlic is definitely, top of the podium for that one. Okay, there's something about fish oil and something else. I don't know what that was. I'm gonna have to write a letter to Periscope to say, listen, this is kind of confusing. It's kind of frustrating when I get a question and it disappears within 5 seconds, because I don't want to jump all over the place. I jump all over the place enough as it is. How to lower triglycerides, family history, mine are 283. Okay, that's pretty high. So first and foremost, you want to get rid of grains, or definitely, I should say, get rid of the get rid of the culprits like, sorry, my nose is itchy, sorry. Get rid of the glutinous grains like wheats, pasta, cereals. Switch those over to, if you can, just minimize grains altogether. But if you have to have grains, things like quinoa are a much better option. Definitely be eating more plant-based foods. Very, very important. Fish oil, okay, really big. Garlic, really big as well. Overall, just a clean plant-based diet, just a whole foods diet. Don't worry about the eggs. Don't worry about all that stuff that they tell you is like the saturated fat. None of that stuff really matters, okay? It's the sugar and it's the carbs that are causing the problems with cholesterol. And when I say carbs, don't confuse good carbs like yams and sweet potatoes and fruit and vegetables with pastas, breads, and cereals. Those are the ones you really want to minimize, okay? And then obviously exercise. Exercise is very, very important. Intense exercise obviously being the big one there. Excellent stuff, guys. This is great. This is great. Again, I love hanging out with you guys on Periscope. You guys enjoying this? This is fun. I enjoy kind of just chilling on my couch. Amy is at a hockey game right now, and that's why I've got a little bit of quiet. The kids are sleeping. Actually, it was fun. We read I made up a story tonight that they really enjoyed, so that was a fun bedtime story. Is honey a good natural sweetener? Yeah, it is. It is. Honey and maple syrup are the way to go. If you're going for honey, make sure that it's raw, unpasteurized, right? That's the way to go. For protein shake, let's say, I don't even think you need to sweeten with any of that stuff. If you need to, if the protein powder is, tastes like chalk, then a little bit of honey is fine. How can I heal hypothyroidism? That's a loaded question. So I've got a couple videos on my YouTube channel talking about hypothyroidism. Check those out. At Yelcame1. Sorry, it's not. Just go to YouTube, type in Yuri Yelcame, find my channel, type in hypothyroidism or low thyroid or something along those lines, and you'll find half a dozen videos on this topic. In a nutshell, there's a number of different issues here. If you have hypothyroidism, the likelihood is that 90% of the issue is, or 90% of cases are autoimmune derived. So the ultimate source is going to be in your gut. You need to heal your gut, and that's a whole protocol in and of itself. You want to support your thyroid with specific nutrients, things like iodine, selenium, and acetyltyrosine. We actually have a formulation on our website called ThyroThrive, which is a formulation we developed because so many of our customers have thyroid issues. So that's something you may want to check out as well. Reducing intake of gluten, because gluten directly mimics the protein in your thyroid tissue, which can confuse your immune system to attacking your thyroid instead of, foreign invaders. That's not a good thing. And looking at heavy metals, lead, mercury, those are some big ones. So, maybe looking at chelating some of those out if those are an issue and at least getting tested for them. Awesome question. Good stuff. All right, so I'm just going to enjoy this moment of uncomfortable silence. Best foods for brain health and happy hormone production. Is skim milk good for protein shake? No. Skim milk, get rid of it. Get rid of the dairy. Switch to the almond milk instead. Foods for brain health. Okay, so I'm going to say something that I hope it sticks with you. How you heal anything is how you heal everything. Brain health, the way to eat for brain health is the same way to eat if you want more energy, if you want better heart health, if you want an easier time losing weight, if you want to clean your liver out, it's all the same. If you've read my All Day Energy Diet, that's a great brain health book. It has nothing to do with brain health, but it's all about the strategic byproduct of eating more plant-based foods, lower inflammation, higher anti-inflammatory foods. And the same thing applies with my next book, The All Day Fat Burning Diet. Exactly the same. The focus is on losing weight, but because of the focus on low inflammatory foods, whole foods, allergen-free, low in sugar, these are all the same things that improve your brain. And looking at specific spices like curcumin, turmeric, right? Ginger, fish oil, these are all really important compounds, all those omega-3s, for the health of your brain. And you don't have to think about, okay, these foods are good for my brain specifically, but it's about how do I eat a diet that is going to reduce inflammation in my body? Because the problem with the brain in terms of Alzheimer's and dementia is inflammation. That's a big, big problem. So, and obviously there's like heavy metals like aluminum and stuff like that, but for the most part, it is an inflammatory issue. So eat to reduce inflammation, basically more plant-based foods, right? You can have animal products, but 70-75% should be plant-based, getting a lot of omega-3s in, and it's pretty straightforward stuff. Lots of oxygen, right? Aerobic exercise, huffing and puffing, very important as well. Okay, how are we doing for time? Let's go for another 3 minutes. I'm going to finish up at 9:15 here. So I'll take one more question, and then we will finish off this session. And I've got a little bit of stuff to do before I shut her down for the evening. So I will wait. You are very welcome. Thank you for the questions. I'm just going to enjoy this awkward moment of silence. Just going to chill out here. I'll wait for the next question. Yes, please send the hearts, guys. If you're enjoying this, if you're enjoying the Hangouts, just tap the screen. If you enjoy looking at my shiny head with the reflection off this light, then let's get a nice Care Bear send-off. Lots of hearts. Please do a lot more of this. Well, I am doing my very best. I'm doing at least one Hangout a day. There is the occasional day where I miss them, but I'm trying to be on here every single day to support you guys and just to connect with you, because I really enjoy doing this. I enjoy Periscope, as I've mentioned before, so much more than Facebook or Instagram, because it's just more interactive. Stevia, I like, yes. I enjoy these in the evenings. Yes, I know it's not always going to happen. I'm trying to find a happy medium. I'm trying to find a consistent time every single day where I can do this, at least Monday to Friday, but it's tough. I mean, I've got a lot of stuff going on, and I'm sure you do as well, and it's tough to say, you know, if I do lunchtime, then we get all the Europeans involved. So if we don't do lunchtime, then a lot of you guys might be at work, and if we do it nighttime, then the Europeans are sleeping. So you can never please everyone, right? So let's finish off, guys, with a, first and foremost, I want to thank you for joining me. This recording will be up on YouTube tomorrow. So let's finish off with a ton of hearts. Let's see how many hearts we can get on the screen. Again, the reason I ask for the hearts is not for my ego. I have a big enough heart as it is. I don't need any of that stuff. But the reason I'm asking for the hearts is because the way Periscope works is the more hearts the channel gets, the higher up in the rankings we can get. Again, sounds egotistical, sounds like, hey, I just want to get ranked. It's not about that. My goal, my mission is to help 10 million people improve their health and fitness by 2018. I can't do that alone. I can't be the one giving the hearts on my own channel. So every single time we hang out, I would really appreciate it if you guys just like keep those hearts flowing, because the more we get, the higher up in Periscope we get, the more visibility we get, and the more people we are able to get in front of. So I really appreciate your support in this, and that's why I'm always encouraging you to share this with your friends, let them know to follow me on Periscope. For me, I do this out of service. I love to do this. I don't have to do this. I mean, from a financial perspective, I'm okay. I'm good. If I won the lottery tomorrow, I would still be doing this every single day with you guys. For me, it's not about the money. It's being of service. It's not about the ego. It's not about the fame. I'm a New York Times bestselling author. I've been on Dr. Oz. I've been on The Doctors. I've been on all those shows. I could care less. The only reason I do that stuff is to position myself in a way where we can reach more people. And what's funny about this is that Amy was playing hockey with a friend of hers the other night. And this is a friend we've known since university. And she's saying, just out of the blue, she's like, it's so amazing. It's so impressive that Yuri was on Dr. Oz. And I'm thinking, like, what a load of BS. Who cares? Right? And it's so funny because, you know, like, even in my family, my extended family, as soon as I was on Dr. Oz, all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, he's on Dr. Oz. Like, you've made it. I made it a long time before being on Dr. Oz. I would much rather spend half an hour here with you on Periscope than going through the whole rigmarole of being on Dr. Oz. Okay? To be very honest with you. It's great. It was awesome. But it's not all it's cracked up to be. So there's a very big difference between being famous and being of service. I have no interest in being famous. I've walked down the street and I've run into people who've like, Yuri, they're like, Yuri, I love your YouTube channel. I'm like, cool. I don't even know who you are, but that's awesome that my videos are able to touch you and inspire you and help you. And that's why I do what I do. Okay. It's just that this calling inside of me to elevate your lives, to inspire you, to help you shine brighter so that you can light up other people's lives, and that's ultimately how we change. It's not about debating and compelling or trying to convince people, to do any of that stuff. It's about just being you and shining your light. Congratulations on 100 followers on Instagram. That's awesome. And thank you for the kind comments, guys. The best way to get people to change, I get this all the time. How do I get my husband to eat well? How do I get my kids to eat well? How do I get these people to change? It's not about that. I'm not here to convince anybody. Neither should you. The only thing you can do is, as Gandhi said, is be the change you wish to see in the world. When people are in a place of darkness, the best thing you can do is turn on your lights. That's the only way you can bring people out of darkness, is to shine your lights. Energy vampires, as you probably know, I do not like. I love Vampire Diaries. It's my damaging omission. I have a man crush on Damon Salvatore. I will openly admit that. But that's the extent of it, right? When it comes to vampires, the show is okay. But energy vampires, people who suck your time and energy, who bring you down, who rob you of your essence, you have to get rid of them. And you have to, especially if they're at work, just you're on a different path. You are on a different path. And that's all you have to remember. Your train is leaving. If they're not on the train, they're off. And if they're trying to hold you back, it's you have to get rid of those people. That's the single biggest thing that will hold you down in life. It's literally having 2 anvils tied around your ankles and trying to run a 100-meter sprint. It's not going to happen. So get rid of the energy vampires, shine your light, and that's why I do what I do. Okay, cool. So on that note, I will bid you farewell. Have a great evening, guys. Thank you so much for all the support, the love, the hearts, the questions. I will be back with you tomorrow. Actually, you know what? Tomorrow, I'm going to be having dinner with my good friend, Per Bristow. Maybe we'll do a hangout, a live Periscope hangout from the restaurants. It'll just be a couple minutes, but Per is amazing. I'm gonna make sure that we do that. So stick around tomorrow night, maybe around 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. Look out keep your notifications on. We'll probably do a live hangout with Per. It'll be a lot of fun. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Have an awesome evening, and I will speak with you tomorrow. And there we go. Ciao, guys.